He's going. I'm Timo. This is Timo's Race Cars. 360s on the engine stand. So let's get into our piggy bank horsepower build. Alright, so you can see the white. That's where it's been crack tested. You can see here again. He's crack tested there. It's nice little chunk out of the pan rail. So you can probably see that's a new sleeve been put into that one. So because the pan rails have been had a chunk taken out of it, what I want to do, so what I don't want to do is I don't want to have it welded. The pieces are all gone. I've actually got one tiny little bit that was from the pan rail. I'm not even going to bother. What I'll do is I'll drill screws, drill and tap, put screws in here, and then cut the heads off, and then just epoxy this up. So more or less now what I'm going to do is just going to give the block a quick clean down, chase the threads, because I noticed it's been at the machine shop, and these studs now won't go all the way home. All I can gather is that while it's been at the machine shop, the metal swarf and rubbish has got down into the threads, so now the studs won't go all the way home. So yeah, pretty much the plan is cleaning, then a dummy assemble, and dummy up the windage tray, figure out what I got to do with that. So that's the plan. So in my cleaning, I found a possible another issue. So for those of you that haven't seen this block, that's where the piston or rod or whatever, that's where the cylinder broke. It went through right there. And so if we look on the other side here, something I didn't notice, and I'll try and zoom in on it here. That's a crack. So yeah, that's something I did not notice before. I guess I'll take it to the machine shop and see if it needs another sleeve, or if this block might be just toast, I think. Good news. The block's savable. The machine is happy to just put another sleeve in it. So, time to prep the crank, because it's got to be balanced. So, may as well linish it and deburr it. It's Groundhog's Day. Back to this again. Feels like only yesterday that I was doing this on the 318 crank. Forgot to chamfer the oil holes. Alright, well, I've just been through them with 240, taken all the sharp edges off where I countersunk, and yeah, now give it a hit with a 400. All right, so there she is. Journals are all cleaned up. Hit it with 240, then 320, and then 400. 6 hours later, we've got a crank that's ready to go. It's not perfect though. I don't know if you can see. There's a couple of little spots where this thing ran after it had split the bore. So I got all the coolant, all the water down into the sump and sucked it up and then put it all through all the main bearings all everywhere. So then the engine sat and there's some imperfections. That was why I had to linish all the journal surfaces because, yeah, a bit rusty. So anyway, that one there is where the rod broke and a piece of it collected the crank counterweight collected it. So anyway, next I'm gonna knife edge this and deburr all these daggy bits. Deburr this, it's nothing, gives you no power, but at least it makes it look good. But yeah, in the spirit of piggy bank horsepower, do some stuff that might gain a horsepower or two that I can do for free. Alright, there she is. But first thing I want to do is these, so I mean it's, wait a second. It's cast, it's a cast crank there. Right, so obviously these two and this are just where the molten metal was just poured into the mold. So it's dead weight, it can just come off. So I guess that's the first thing I'm going to do is just trim that. It's a good lick to get me started. Alrighty, on to the next. Alright, yeah. Next step here is to mark these out where I'm going to knife edge the counterweights. Mark them out and then slice those little pieces off. Then we can get the grinder out. Or well, swap to the grinding disc rather than the cutting disc. This is what we got. I mean, that one's pretty munted, but it's a good start. Just wanted to use the cutoff wheel to get a head start on myself, and I won't have to just grind. That's the pits. Anyway, now it's time to grind. Well, not bad. Not finished either, but pretty symmetrical. Not bad. Yeah. Get into these daggy bits. So there's a little bit of something. I'll Take a bit more off here. Pretty happy with that. This step here with machine cut, I'll sort of probably just leave it. But yeah, a little bit more there, and then I'll flip it over. So I went back through the footage, and I've realised I've filmed more of the process than the progress. So I'll show you some progress anyway. These, a light. So these I'm pretty happy with. From pretty well any angle, that looks nice and uniform. This one, where are we? Yeah, nice and uniform. Yeah, pretty decent. Started to smooth off some edges. And, started to shape a bit of this. I've got pretty decent size. I think it's 1.25" countersink. I'm gonna just take the edges off here and then gently blend it with a die grinder to give a nice radius. Yes, so that there's no hard edge for a crack to start, you know. And then this finish too. This finish, I'm gonna run through it with a flap wheel afterwards, with some 60 grit on it. Just not to bring it to a polished finish, but you know, a bit better finish than what I got. So yeah, this is a bit more of the progress. Hold on, I'll roll this crank over. These ones again, pretty happy with the consistency. They're, you know, pretty symmetrical if you look at them. Decent. This one obviously not so symmetrical, but it's, you know, do the best you can with what you got. So yeah, I mean, these, taking that down probably about as far as I want it. This one's probably a bit nicer than this, so maybe just match the two and then take away some of that cast. And yeah, again, hit it with a flap wheel with a 60 grit on it. Yeah, not so much for a polish, just sort of a more consistent finish, that's all. More progress. Nice and smooth. Still gonna take the, well, if I can get the grinder in there, I'll take the as cast off of that. This. Mainly concerned with the leading edges, not the trailing edges. Probably won't change the finish on the trailing edges, although it is going to look kind of silly if everything's done polished except the trailing edges. So I'll see how I go, see how much energy I've got. But yeah, I'm only really concerned about the leading edges having you know, smooth surface finish. Yeah, that's where I'm at.
Hola.
Straight. I'm pretty happy with that. Looks pretty smooth, pretty uniform. Looks, on camera, it looks a bit uneven, but to run your hand over it, it's actually real smooth, real nice. I reckon on camera it's looking pretty secondhand, but it's actually real good. This is nice and smooth. Nice, consistent plane. Yeah, so let's do it. Ooh. I might use two hands for this. Got a nice radius in there. Oh well, I'm gonna make it a radius. Nice countersink in there. Turned into a radius now. All right, more progress. We're just burr finish there at the moment. I'll get the sand and roll onto that. But yeah, I mean, pretty well all there. These are looking about the same as these. These are the ones that had the big casting boss. Hang on. Yeah, these are the ones that had the casting boss coming off of here. And here's the other one. Oops. Here's the other one that had a big lump, big knob on it. And same down here. So yeah. Yeah, it's getting there. I mean, can't get in there with a grinder, so that's staying the way it is. Not really that keen to mess with this too much. This is where when the rod broke, this is where it hit. So do what I can with that. All right. Got to be honest, I'm pretty happy with it. I think the light's killing me. I don't think the camera's getting a look at how good this is. I mean, it doesn't look very good right there because, I mean, you got Ascast here, you got chunks and bits and pieces, and Ascast here, but that's lovely and smooth to touch. I've taken all the hard edges. There's no sharp edges on it anymore. So we've got, let me just hit the light. We've got some pretty decent, not exactly knife edges, but you know, it's something of a taper, you know. And wait a second. Can't really appreciate the radius, but that's a really soft, gentle radius into there. Yeah, a bit of polish and a bit of, yeah, taking the edges off. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with it, in all honesty. And David Vizard says this type of modification is worth 7 horsepower. So that's, oh, here we go. There we go. That's a nice gentle radius. Yeah, there we go. But 7 horsepower. The half a day's mucking around. All right, lads. Well, that's I'm calling that a prepped crank. Calling that good. We'll get on now. Send it to the machine shop because it's got to be balanced. The old pistons are heavier than the KBs that I just got, so combo's got to be balanced. Other than that, I mean, I'll clean it up. Excuse me. I'll clean it up and then I'll send it to the machine shop. Other than that, though, we're good. We're just waiting for parts while the block's in machine shop jail. I've prepped the crank, and yeah, we'll get this off there, and hopefully the machine shop will be finished with the block soon, and we can clean that down and start to make some progress. All right, catch you soon.